Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel today. And we're going to talk about the shad spawn today. One of the things about bass fishing, if you follow it very closely at all, or as you get a little bit more involved in it, you always hear people talking about the shad spawn, especially in tournament situations like they got out there this morning and they found the shad spawn and they wrecked them during the shad spawn. I hear it all the time. And this, in my opinion, guys, is probably the most overrated fishing topic I have ever heard in my life. And I'm gonna give you guys some tips and advice on this, talk a little bit about the shad spawn, talk a little bit about why it's overrated. So we'll get into that in today's video here. Also guys, before we get started, real quick reminder that SolarBat has still got their spring sale going on my signature series RB2 and RB3 series sunglasses. You can get them right now, 30% off, guys. And also if you use the promo code RandyB, you get free shipping and handling. Like I said, got 3 different frame colors, 3 different frame styles, a bunch of different lens colors. So all that will be in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video, the link to my sunglasses along with everything else. So appreciate that. Okay, I hear it all the time. Shad spawn, shad spawn, shad spawn. You hear guys talking about in tournaments, oh, you know, he's on a shad spawn bite. Guys, first of all, don't feel like you got to get wrapped up in this. The shad spawn, I've talked about this before, is the most overrated fishing technique in bass fishing, because let me explain why. First of all, let's talk a little bit about shad spawning. Most of the shad will begin spawning, the threadfin and gizzard shad, usually about the tail end of the time that the bass are done spawning, which in most parts of the country, it's going to be anywhere between April, sometime in April to sometime in early June, sort of in that time frame there, just depending upon where you're positioned at in the country. Like in my part of the country here, the shad spawn a lot in May, and throughout that whole central part of the country. And what they do when they spawn is they school up, and they usually get against some type of object. For example, rocky bank, they'll spawn against a tree in the water, they'll spawn against a boat dock, float, anything that they can get close to and on there. Probably 2 of the biggest places that they spawn on are riprap banks and boat dock corners, that type of stuff, and around lay down trees. And you'll usually see them, they're just flickering around the surface. Once in a while you'll see a fish come up and hit them, but not very often. A lot of times you just see them flickering, and normally it's something that happens earlier in the morning. They spawn early in the morning. Most of the time by like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, you don't see much shad spawning activity. So it's something that anglers take advantage of right off the bat in the morning. So let's say, for example, you hear about this deal by, oh, the shad spawn bites on. There's nothing that you can do about that, guys, because the shad spawn randomly. There's no way that you can go out and say, okay, I'm going to go out and look for the shad spawn. I'm going to go over back in this creek here or whatever and fish shad spawn fish, because you don't know where they're spawning at. They spawn different places every day. I've seen them spawn on a place one day and they're gone the next. So it's very random, and don't waste your time going out and looking for it, because it is so haphazard if you find them or not. Now, given that, if you're out there early in the morning, it's daylight or a little bit after, and you happen to be fishing down a bank and you see shad flickering on the surface and spawn them, by all means cast over there. Swim jig, a small spinnerbait are the 2 best lures you can throw on them. A little 3/8 ounce spinnerbait with some small blades, little shad pattern swim jig, something like that. Maybe a little swim bait. And if there's any fish there, they're going to bite it. Usually those fish that are after those shad spawning are very aggressive, especially if you see those fish, swirling and going after the shad. They're easy to catch, but it is so random, it's not even worth your time. So the point of the video is what I want to talk about here is don't feel like you're missing out on anything. If you hear about this and you've never experienced it, you're not missing out on that big of a deal. If you have experienced it, you understand what I'm talking about. If you're there at the right place at the right time, you're going to catch some fish for sure. But given that, it's not like running a seasonal pattern or some type of a predictable, path that the bass take. It's not. It is just so haphazard, and it's where you find it. So like I said, I don't put any effort into it at all. It's like if I happen to see some, great. If I don't, I just go fishing like I'm normally fishing. but that's usually what the deal is. And if you do want to chase it, say for example, you do want to experience this, just go to the places on the lake where you felt there's a lot of bass spawning. Usually the same type of areas that the bass have been spawning in, the shad like to spawn there too. And that's probably the best way to do it. Keep your eye peeled, get the trolling motor on high and cover some ground, you know, for the first couple hours after daylight, and your odds of finding them are go up with that. But again, don't get sucked into it, because it's a very overrated thing in my opinion. So, you know, guys, hope it helps out. We'll talk later.